This is week 2 of the Horrific Vision patch. This time we are fighting Thrall in Orgrimmar and we have access to the remaining 3 masks. This means that we can attempt an 8 mask run. This is my take on it as a tank. This was, I feel, a bit undertuned. I expected this to be significantly harder than 5 masks, but the difficulty is more or less the same. Because of the interaction between the Mask of the Nemesis and the Mask of Multitudes, it is really hard to run out of sanity, so time is no longer a concern. The Mask of the Nemesis will make you spawn Gammon or Hogger every 25 enemy units killed. These include totems and figments. If you make it to the end, it's very likely that you will end your run with 1 of 2 orbs to spare. The margin of error, on the other hand, is very small. Because of the Mask of the Daredevil, mistakes can be heavily punished. Like the last time, remember to build for damage and bring tempered potions and drums. And your potion, Weakaura? Link in the description. Also, make sure you have the 3 important tributes maxed out and all 8 masks on before you enter the vision. The first thing to do is to clear some packs on the way to the first area, including the 2 guards in front of Grommash Hold. You need to kill them to open the way to the last boss. Then you want to go left to figure out which potion is the damage one. You can mouse over it from outside the hut and immediately click. And there is the first Nemesis spawn. Gammon has an AoE stun that you can outrange if you time it correctly, but it's not a big deal because the duration is very short, so unless you are standing in a vulnerable position, you shouldn't have to worry about it. If you're lucky, you will get the high speed from the synchronize and you will quickly get to the first area. This first mini-boss is easy enough, but beware of the Decimator. The mini-boss tends to strafe sometimes, and unless you are perfectly perpendicular to the Decimator, you can get hit. After that, because there is a bit of RP, I prefer to go to the Valley of Wisdom from here, so that I do less walking later on. Once here, you don't need to deal with the first mob, you can leave Garona to do her own thing, go clear the packs in front of the Hulk. We do have a split personality here, which can have a bad interaction with Haunting Shadows if both circles spawn at the same time. Everything is purple, so you need to really look at the floor. The only most dangerous in this area is the Appendage. You need to move out of the AoE. And the Dominator. The Dominators will cast a 4-second stun on you that you need to avoid at all costs, because if one of those stuns goes off, it will probably be the end of your run. The Hulk is relatively easy to deal with. The Explosive Leap will do 150 sanity damage to you. You can avoid the damage by using a movement ability while you are in the air. If you time it correctly, you will avoid the sanity loss. I meta and pot here to bring down the Hulk before the second Explosive Leap. The next pack has 1 Dominator that you need to deal with immediately, and then the rest of the pack is pretty trivial. And this will grant you 1 very welcome Nemesis spawn for that extra sanity. There is another pack with 3 Dominators on the right, but you don't need to clear them to fulfill the objective, so I just avoid them altogether. The next mini-boss is pretty straightforward, all its abilities are avoidable, you just need to pre-move the visceral fluid. I leap away from the visceral fluid because walking is not enough to avoid it. After the mini-boss is dead, the final boss spawns. It's a good idea to pop cooldowns here, but you are in no hurry. As long as you fight him inside his hitbox, you will not get hit by the ring, and the only thing you should worry about is the combo from the 2 madnesses. Then I can move on to the Valley of Spirits, which can be done in 2 packs. On the first one I get a Nemesis spawn, and I clear the first 2 totems. Look around for any sanity pots if you need them, and then you can tag the rest of the packs. This will spawn a second Nemesis, and you should be nearly at 100% sanity. Next mini-boss is trivial as well. You want to recover your soul from the hopelessness as fast as possible, but if it's in a weird place, you can just wait it out. There is no hurry. The waves do 300 sanity damage, so your priority is to not get hit by them. And since I already cleared the Valley of Wisdom, I can go straight to the drag without walking back and forth. The first mini-boss in the drag it actually gave me a lot of trouble. You don't have a lot of room to fight him, and getting hit by any of his abilities can mean your run is over. The Orb of Annihilation hits very fast, so you need to pre-move to not get hit by the first bounce. Luckily, any subsequent bounce will be on a straight line, so they will be easier to dodge. Remember to talk to Garona to activate the events. And be mindful of the Dominator in this pack. There is 1 in the first 2 packs and 2 Dominators on the last one. Everything else is trivial. Once Garona joins you, the gates will become active, and after destroying them, you will be able to kill the last boss. Do take some space to avoid the Void Torrent. You cannot outrun it. So it's better to take some space and just dodge. Sidestep left and right so you can dodge the bolts. And save your DPS cooldowns for the shield. Luckily his abilities don't do much sanity damage, so even if you get hit by either of them, you should be fine. Now in the last area, we have the Split Personality and Haunting Shadows combo again. If you don't have a way to dispel poison, you need to be really careful. With the tiny scarabs, they are not trivial, they will do a stacking debuff that will eventually stun you. During BFA, people usually skip most of the mobs in this area, but because of the Mask of Multitudes, the extra mobs make this a little bit harder, so you will have to deal with some of the pulls. I get a stun here from the stacking poison. It's not a problem because I'm not standing on the defiled area. Now in this pack I'm caging one of the spiders for safety. I probably didn't need it, but I didn't want to risk the run at this point, so I deal with the elite mobs one by one instead. The bolt does virtually no damage, you don't need to worry about that. I get the stun here by the swarmers again, which is not a big deal, and as soon as the stun is off, I can kill the elite mob. Last time I did this I was a rogue, and I remember from BFA that you can skip this mini-boss. There is no percentage here, it's not necessary to fight it, so I just go to the side and leap to the path to ignore him completely. Again, I am caging the spider, so I can deal with the other elite easily. I get stunned by the swarmers, it's not a big deal. I leap back and finish off the elite. But I get trapped here by the split personality and I panic a little bit because I'm standing on the file ground. I still have all 3 orbs, so I decide to pop one to avoid dying here and use my leap a little bit further down the path. Since there is no reason to fight the other spider, I just melt it, let it be, and I can make my way to Rexar. Rexar can be a difficult fight if any of the casts go off, but this fight has been nerfed from BFA and the adds die fairly quick, so it is no problem. I am pre-casting an orb just for safety, but I didn't really need it. As soon as the adds spawn, swap to them immediately and make sure they don't get a cast off. When Rexar is dead, you can take the totem and make your way to Thrall. I have some free time here, so I decided to kill 4 mobs so I get a nemesis spawn. This way I make sure that I can go to Thrall with a full sanity bar. Thrall will have 2 adds next to him, and you want to make sure that the nemesis is not going to spawn mid-fight. You should stand on the promised power circle as much as you can. Kill the adds as fast as possible. I actually let a cast go off. It's 150 sanity, but I have a full bar and an orb to spare, so there is no hurry. Stay away from the defiled ground and make sure you have cooldowns for the 50% shield. And that's it. That is the 8 mask run for Orgrimmar. Let me know in the comments if you also did an 8 mask run this week, and subscribe for more next week. Bye!